Hi, friends. Welcome to All Things Mindful. And in this podcast channel, I create podcast episodes and healing affirmations to help you calm your inner critic and lead a more mindful life. By the way, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Shikah. I used to work as a counselor and now I create motivational content on this podcast. Today, we are going to discuss how we can reduce or deal with the feelings of inferiority when we compare ourselves with someone else. The reason why I feel called or motivated to create this episode is because I'm reminded of someone I know. Let's call her Sherry. So, Sherry feels insecure and inferior, and she feels small whenever she compares herself to a friend of hers named Gemma. So, Gemma is a highly successful person. She is a high achiever. She has her own business. She is also actively contributing to the community, and she is someone who is a public figure in that sense. So whenever Sherry sees Gemma in the news or in any media platform, Sherry will start feeling very insecure about herself, and she will start second guessing her decisions, second guessing her life decisions, second guessing the options that she has made in life. And the thing that makes it more painful was that they were both at the same level when they were in college years ago. So Gemma has become this textbook definition of a successful person, whereas Sherry is a homemaker with two kids. For Sherry, whenever she sees someone as successful as Gemma, for example, who used to be on the same level as her in the past, her inner critic will start to be activated, and her inner critic will say things like, "You should have known your path since you were in college. You should have taken a more lucrative degree. You should have stuck to one path instead of job hopping or pivoting from one career to another. Look at your friend. She stuck to one path. She knows what she's been wanting since she was young. And look at her now. She is so successful. She is well known. She's contributing to society. She's a public figure now, obviously monetarily successful as well, financially abundant. So Sherry's inner critic will start to criticize her whenever she comes across a former friend, for example, whom she considers more successful now. The issue with this inner critic, which is always active, is that Sherry will start to be influenced by outside opinions and external voices and other people's opinions and other people's definitions of success. Because once she starts second guessing herself, and once she starts doubting herself, once she stops trusting herself, and once she starts to be unsure of her decisions or start questioning her ability to make decisions, that's when she's going to be swayed by outside opinions. That is when she is going to make decisions based on other people's definition of a quote unquote successful life. When someone is second guessing themselves and having second thoughts about the life that they are leading or the choices that they have made, that's when they are most susceptible to being influenced by external influences and external opinions. That is a huge problem, because that if she follows those external opinions and external voices, that's when she is going to create a life full of inauthenticity, possibly a lot of unhappiness, and she may start feeling very not contented with her life, especially if she is going to follow someone else's cookie cutter version of success. So that is the issue here, especially if our inner critic keeps harping on how we should have done this in the past, or we should have followed that person's example, or we have made rubbish decisions in the past. When our inner critic keeps harping on that, that's when we will start looking at other people and start making decisions based on other people's lives. So that is quite an undesirable position to be in. So what I will do if someone like Sherry comes to me and asks me what she can do about this inferior feeling that she has, I will try to find out what is this desired feeling that she wants to have in her life. Maybe I'll ask her, why is having this successful life like Gemma important to you? And Sherry may say something like, I will feel valued, I will feel like I'm worthy in society, I will feel like I have a lot of power, I feel like I have a lot of impact, I feel like I matter to society. So Sherry may answer that. And then from then on, what we can do is we can ask them to give examples of success stories where they have achieved value or achieved worthiness or achieved power in their own lives. And I will also ask Sherry to think how she can get all those feelings that she wants in her current situation. As a homemaker of two kids, how can she get those feelings of worthiness, power, and impact in her current situation? Instead of asking her to eradicate that feeling of inferiority, I will ask her to think of how she can add feelings of value and worthiness and all these things that she wants in her current situation. Maybe she will say something like, I can choose to do some volunteer work in my free time so that I can feel valued or I can feel worthy in some way, or so that those needs are met. Sometimes that might seem like a big step, especially if someone has never done this before, has never volunteered before, for example. So one thing I will also ask Sherry is that what can you do today or what can you do tomorrow to feel those feelings in your life? It can be something as small as I can donate some money to a homeless person I see on the street. That can also give her that feeling of worthiness and also having an impact in society. So the actions that she takes does not have to be grand actions. It can be something as small as something she can do today within the next hour or something she can do tomorrow. That's when we'll take small steps and slowly build up to something much bigger. Our aim is not to make Sherry's life duplicate Gemma's life. Our objective is to make Sherry feel valued, worthy, powerful, and impactful, all those feelings that she wants. So we are going to help her get those feelings in her current situation, with her current situation, in her current state. If she wishes to get a job, for example, to get those feelings, she can do that, provided that the decision to take a job, a full-time job, for example, is something which is driven by a desire to thrive instead of being a fear-based decision. She can also make changes in her life, intentional, mindful changes in her life to get all those desired feelings that she wants. Or she can also choose to get those feelings in her current state, whichever works for her at this moment. And if you are facing the same situation, you can do the same. You can do this exercise with yourself. Try and think of how you can get those desired feelings that you want in your current situation with whatever challenges or with whatever blessings and abundance that you have, and get creative about it. And small steps matter. It doesn't have to be big, grandiose steps. Just something you can do within the next hour, something you can do tomorrow, something you can do next week, whatever it is, something that can bring you those feelings. So I hope that has been helpful, and you can leave a comment if it has been helpful for you in any way. I will see you in my next episode.